Hey everyone, welcome to Artistic Painting Studios Guest Retailer Spotlight. I'm Maury Curtis Dunbar, owner of Painted Studio and Jennifer's guest retailer today. We are doing some patriotic fun projects. If you caught my live on my own page today, we started several projects and we're going to keep working with them and we should have some fun. Now, if I'm going to angle, when I angle the camera down, I don't always see the questions. So if you have questions, type them in. If I don't answer it right away, I promise you I read all the questions when we're done. I go back, I write out the answers, even if I answer them verbally, so the answers are always there for you. And we're going to just keep going in the fun projects that we started earlier today. So I'm scrolling the camera down. Earlier today, I showed my little kitty cat cutout, and we painted it with set coat metallic navy, then applied a layer of Artsyville foil adhesive. I used one of Jennifer Artistic Painting Studios stencils, and we released through the stencil in the foils in red glitter stars. Now I still have the background to do here, but we're gonna play, because this whole thing is still sticky. You can see it's sticky. I did it before, so it's gonna be sticky now. And then we're gonna do a bunch of projects. I got a lot going on today, so if it doesn't all fit in this live, you all can follow me back to my page to keep doing more. Now, I love how that red and blue with the kitty cat there. I think that's very cute. But we're gonna have to release a little more foil, so I'm gonna have some fun. I am taking my silver stars foil, and we're gonna now you can release the foil. You can see as I pounce it, it takes the foil pattern off the foil backing. And you can put this on as heavy or as light as you want. So I love how that looks like a shattered, sparkly spider web on there. And then we're gonna fill in the background with our blue glitter stars. And we're just gonna make this a very patriotic little kitty cat. How cute is this? I love stuff like this. I do a lot of larger projects that's harder to do a live with. So when I do lives, I try to come up with fun, easy projects to follow along with, because it's sometimes, if you do a piece of furniture, you know, I could go about a week in between certain things and you'd be all lost when I came back. And frankly, sometimes I'm a little lost when I come back to them. All right, so we're gonna put the kitty cat over the blue glitter stars foil over the kitty cat, and I'm just smoothing with my hand. If you notice, I will not scrub right up to the edge here where there's a little bit of the tail sticking out, because I don't want a seam right there. Hey everybody, and if I don't say hi, again, the camera's angled down, so I have a little trouble seeing what everybody's writing until I flip it up again. And of course I move my brush. I mean, we've got cups, we've got cutouts, we've got shapes, we've got all kinds of projects that I'm working on right now for the upcoming summer season. So I usually have like 4 or 5 projects going at once. Let's make sure I got that. I'm just rubbing my hands over it, because when I do that, I can feel sometimes the release that I can't always feel with the brush. Go back. Oh yeah, that's a great, oh, that's so cute. And I think I need to get in here a little bit better. A little bit. I have a toothbrush. So sometimes when you get these really detailed areas like I did here, it can be hard even to get the overlay foil into the detail. So always have a little toothbrush or something around. Oh, that's it. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta give a little extra love. There we go. That's cute. Oh, that's so stinking cute. So I'm looking at the details here. You may not be able to see it on the camera, but they're placed, because this is a little bit raised with the foil adhesive and everything. Sometimes it's just a little, you have to do a little work to get the foil released in all the detail areas. Get my kitty cat right over there where I want it. I'm going in here. Patience is your friend with this sort of thing, and there are days I'm not very friendly. So you can see I'm going back and forth over areas that I either didn't lay the foil down on, or where these details are so close that sometimes the foil doesn't want to go in between them. Let's turn the kitty cat around. I hope you all are enjoying a beautiful Saturday. It's gorgeous here in Brookfield, Illinois. We've had a gorgeous sunny day. Actually, we're supposed to have a spectacular weekend, and I'm off tomorrow. And since we all know public pools and town pools and all that sort of stuff aren't opening up for the summer, at least maybe we might see them in July, we're not sure. I'm putting out my blow-up pool in my backyard, putting my beach chair in it, grabbing a book. I'm gonna park myself in my little blow-up pool all weekend. Because for me, my weekend starts tomorrow. I have Sunday and Monday off. So my Saturday is actually Sunday, and I'm gonna spend that time parked in my kiddie pool, maybe with a cocktail. Maybe I'll just fall asleep in the sun. I haven't had a chance to do that for a while. Okay, so here is our little crackled silver, glittery starred kitty cat cut out. Now, I could do more to this, but today I'm going to set that aside. Why? Because I still have other things to do, and I haven't decided what else I'm going to do. Now, one of the next things we're doing is we're doing a tumbler, and this is super fun. So this tumbler actually has a lid that you put on here. Got a straw to go with it, comes with its straw, and that's designed for cold beverages. And we're going to foil this one, and I did this one earlier, and we're going to continue on with that, and I think that's super. But we're going to just work, I think, in red, white, and blue. Again, we're doing patriotic ideas today, so I used metallic blue set coat, and if you happen to catch my earlier video, you saw the directions of what to do, but I will verbally tell you, when you get these are aluminum. You do a light sanding on them to scuff the surface, and then you wipe them down with either isopropyl or denatured alcohol to remove all the tooling oil and the metal shavings. What tooling oil is when these things are molded and polished and stuff, there's usually a lubricant of some sort. It's either oil or silicone, and it's used to make the work on the cups better, but you don't want it on there when you're painting it, so you have to clean it off. Then we applied a layer of navy blue metallic set coat and a layer of Artsyville foil adhesive. So that all has already been done. These have cured. We're going to play with our cup. So I think we're going to do the cup blue, the red lid, and then we're going to talk about how we're going to decorate it more. All right. Of course, all the tape wants to stick to the foil today, not be nice and let me go and let me do my thing. So I'm going to take a little bit of red for the lid. Now, I mentioned this on my earlier live today, but since not all of you were there, you will notice that I've painted all the way to the edge on both of these. And this is super easy to work with, but I'm sorry, I started to try to read a question and I got distracted. But you see, we're all the way up to the edge here. Well, we can do that because these kind of tumblers all have lids. So your mouth isn't going to be on here. But I do use an epoxy when I coat these that is food safe. So if you wanted to drink on this, you can. I just don't personally love that feeling that thick around the lip if I was going to drink from it. So when I make my other ones, like I made this wine tumbler, my little Yeti, I taped down from the edge because then I can sip, sorry for the slurp, without having my mouth with this kind of glittery texture and stuff. I don't love that. So it's up to you, but the epoxy that I use is food safe, so you can have it to your mouth, there's no problem. All right, we're gonna foil the lid. And one of the challenges with this is always going to be making sure you don't do anything that blocks the straw hole right there. So when we do deal with the epoxy later, I will have to plug that hole just to make sure it doesn't fill up to the point where you can't get a straw through. And first I'm massaging this with my fingers, and then I'm just dealing with the toothbrush because I don't need a heavy scrub on this. I was really generous with the foil adhesive today, so everything has been really super sticky. Oh wow, that is releasing almost flawlessly. Look at that. That's near, you can see the lid through the lid opening. So that released really nicely. I'm gonna take a little spot. There's spots that it didn't release perfectly, and I see that. Now we know, if you've ever used foils, you know that your foil release is never going to be completely flawless. So if I didn't want any of the blue to show through, I would have painted the base color a metallic red or a regular red. Doesn't bother me at all that it shows through because I'm going to create more pattern and stuff on the lid later. So it's all perfect for what I want to do. I'm getting the edge here. Okay. This is going to be so cute. I'm going to show you what we're going to do after this too with it. Sorry, I keep not quite centering the camera for you guys to see. I tend to pull things close to me, which doesn't help you all see what I'm doing. Apologize for that. I don't know what you all do when you're working, but sometimes I have movies on, and I just watch Live Free or Die Hard for like the 50th time, and it's still, there's still moments in it that just crack me right up. Okay, so you saw how we pounced that silver on before. So I could pounce some silver on this. I could just release it solid blue, or I could change the product that I'm using to release that's a little more glittery, which is our zigzag foil that's right here. So maybe I might do a little of that. Let's do a little of that, just for a little interesting texture look. You know, just so you know, I had a totally different plan for these when I started this morning, and like every time I do something, I get another idea halfway through, and I kind of take a flex in a different direction, as the kids all say. All right, so we're going to pound this. Dropping it, my fingers, you know what it is, it's sticking to my fingers as I let go of the cup, and then I end up knocking it over. So you can see now I already have sort of a much crinklier look. Hi Deb, nice to see you, and I see Jennifer's watching. I hope I don't embarrass you, Jennifer. So don't do anything to disappoint the hostess. That would make me sad. Okay, I'm going to wrap it now in the blue foil. Of course, my fingers are going to stick to everything as I do it. And first, I'm going to rub it with my hands. I love doing this because if I get a little bubble like I got right under there, I roll my finger along it, and it actually gives me a nearly flawless release. It's just between the adhesive and how good it is and how good the foils are. I always get such good release here. All right, so we're going to try to peel it back. Now you're going to see streaking in here, and that's because of the way I applied the adhesive and nothing else. Oh wow, look how glittery that came out. You can see how glittery it is. That's awesome. And if you look close and you see this, this is my brush marks. So the foil adhesive doesn't exactly lay super level. It doesn't have any self-leveling. So how you apply it will show in your final result. So make sure you know how you want something to look. If you don't want this streakiness, I'm stuttering, sorry, use a roller, a low nap roller, and roll it on. You might have a little dimpling, but you won't have the brush strokes through it. Gosh, this is coming out just so good, so well. I really like this. So now we have, so far this is our cup, which is very cute, but we could do a little more. What are we gonna do? All right, well, let me see where I set everything, make sure I got the right one. Yep. We can take, because even though this is good for fabric, you can use it on hard surfaces too. This is our Deco Foil liquid adhesive for foils. This is good on fabric, it's great on hard surfaces. With the little scribble writing tip, it's so easy to use. It will leave a three-dimensional texture though. This will not level out into a little bit of flatness. So what I'm gonna do is sort of put little firework arcs on here. I'm not talking so I can actually pay attention to what I'm doing, because my big mouth can go on and on and on. So this has to let sit and dry until clear, at least an hour, maybe longer. It needs to be clear, but once it's dry, it's good for a long time. So I'm just going to set this aside because I'm not sure. I haven't decided if I'm going to go and get my Cricut out and do a little USA or 4th of July or America the Beautiful on here. And after it's all done, we will epoxy coat it and the lid, but probably not today. But I wanted to show you how you can even use the scribble writers on our tumblers. So I thought that's a great thing to share with everybody. Let me put the lid on it. Also, when you use these scribble writers, you can see it's got a cap on it, and the cap has a little spot in here that fits the tip. But to keep the stuff from drying out in the tip, turn it upside down, shake it down so the liquid's all the way down there, and then store it upside down. So let me set that to the side over here. Alrighty, where's our next project? Where's our next plan? All right, we're gonna do this one. We'll work on this cup. So I'm gonna take the lid back off, and I foiled this already. So we're gonna put this on our cup turner that is right there. Maybe I'll get the extra foil adhesive out of the way. That piece is a little big. Let's see if that one fits better. Cup turners often have different size foam cores, so it depends on the size of your cup which foam center you want to put it on, and that one works better for this. And I get my cup turners off of Amazon. So I'm going to move that, and we are going to use liquid glass. This is perfect for these. This is, and the one thing I got to tell you that's awesome with the liquid glass, on the side of the box, it tells you how much square footage you get on average. Now, half a pint kit is 4 ounces. So, oh, I'm sorry, 8 ounces. So you're going to get about 2 square feet with it, but it's on every box, so you know exactly what you're getting. Let me go buzz over here and grab some gloves and stuff. This, you all know I spill. There's no secret around here that I spill stuff, so gloves are always a good thing for me. And I also forgot my torch. Hang on. When you have this many projects going on, and we're playing on 4 right now, it's really, really easy to leave a tool somewhere or one of the pieces of material that you needed to work with. And that's what I do all the time. I forget all the time. Okay, so I've got my gloves on. I'm gonna take 2 cups. You notice I'm not wearing an apron today. I'm being brave. So I'm only going to mix a little of this since we're only going to work on 1 cup today. The other one has quite a bit of drying to do. So you need maybe an ounce of product to do a cup, 1.5 ounces. And these are, it's 2-part epoxy. So you have resin and you have hardener. And you want to pour absolutely dead equal amounts of part A and part B. Don't mix up the caps. Why? Because if you put this cap on that bottle by mistake, it will, the resin and the hardener will activate and you will have cemented this thing together forever. So now I'm coming down to see if I'm even. I need a little bit more in here, a skosh more. Okay, and what happens if you don't get it even? Well, if you get too much hardener and not enough resin, your resin hardens your mixture hardens very, very quickly, and it becomes very brittle. If you get too much resin and not enough hardener, you actually have the opposite problem of it never actually getting cured up and hard. So we're going to take this and scrape it out. Measure it together, and you want to scrape out every last bit from the cup. And I use these little plastic cups because it's really not viable to try to clean your resin containers out. These really are the only things I don't try to clean, because they need to be cleaned with alcohol. And it's such a pain, so I can't be bothered with that. I just use stuff that I don't mind throwing away. I do not use paper cups because they don't stay firm enough. Waxed paper, I don't want the wax in my resin. Styrofoam, again, they don't stay firm enough. I use little cocktail glasses from parties. You know, I had a party, I have leftover cups, I bring them to the studio. So then you stir, and you stir, and you stir. And I think on the box it says mix well according. It's gonna tell you to stir a long time. So really what it boils down to is you stir and stir and stir. And then when you think you've stirred enough, stir more. This has almost no odor, has a little bit. If you're used to using countertop epoxies, this is about the same. This dries very hard, and this is safe to use as soon as it dries hard. The full cure is 72 hours, which is standard for most two-part epoxies. And then, just to make this a little more fun, we're gonna add a bunch of glitter stuff to it. There's that one. I have glitter that I squirreled away all over the place for this. All right, so we're gonna use a little of our tinsel glitter. Because I could never just leave it alone and leave it striped like that. No, 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 I have to make sure there's more. I gotta make it extra. All right. I have all these glitters from Martha Stewart that I picked up a while ago. These are not glitters that either Jennifer or I normally carry. I just happen to have them, and they work for this. So we've got some, let's go in here. We got little red dots. Almost big enough, they almost look like sequins. This is big glitter. These have big punches, and some of them have shapes. So we have blue stars. Or that's actually blue moons. I don't think I have a star shape in anything else, so we're gonna put some silver stars in here, silver moons in here, just because it'll be fun. Why not? And as you can tell, I'm not concerned about the colorant of the glitter into the epoxy. It won't hurt it. So this is now what my sludgy mess of glitter and epoxy looks like. That's pretty cool. So now I'm gonna come over here. We're gonna move this just a little bit so you can all see. I'm gonna turn on my cup turner, and it doesn't turn super fast. Where did I put my, there it is. And you need a sponge brush or a plastic card or something like that, something that you can smooth the product out with. So normally what I do is I pour a little on, and I don't pour towards the top or the bottom, I pour in the middle, and then I turn and I start smoothing. And this stuff, some of this is going to drip right onto the ground or right under your surface. I'm just moving this around, and whatever drips off the bottom, because I didn't mix that much, I don't want to lose what I've dripped. So I can just pick it right up off the clean, because I'm on a polystyrene board here that's very clean, with the exception of the paint smear that I put on it about an hour ago. There's no dust, there's no particles, nothing bad like that on there that I have to worry about. Let's get this smoothed around, because I've got to distribute all the glitter and stuff in here so it doesn't have big clumps, and then there's a bald spot like right there. I'm waiting for it to turn back because I know there's a bald spot, and I just got to get at it. There it is. And what the turning does, see, the epoxy is self-leveling. So no matter what you do, it'll only level out to no more than 1/8 of an inch thick unless it's got a wall around it, meaning a lip or something like that that's holding the epoxy in. So as this turns like this, it levels it around the cup. If I didn't have it on a turner like this, all the epoxy would slide either down if I had it upright, or it would just pool off on the bottom and be very uneven, and I wouldn't have a really nice result. So I'm paying attention to getting the bottom of the cup. Now, when this dries, if I decide I don't like the texture of it, I can easily lightly sand it and apply another layer of clear epoxy over it, and that will take care of any textures that I'm not happy with. All right, I'm watching it turn to see if there's any place that needs a little attention with the way I distribute the glitters and stuff. I mean, this is a killer cup. I will have to zoom in on this. Now that this is all poured, you can take a torch. You can use a big acetylene torch, or you can use a little creme brulee torch, which is what this is. These, you can get these at Home Depot. You can get them at restaurants. And you take it and you torch across the surface, not into it, across it. And what this does is it raises the bubbles to the surface. It makes the epoxy more liquid so it levels better. And it brings all the flaws and the air pockets out so that you don't have any weird little dimples and stuff. Like, gives you a much more flawless finish. And you also got to remember to do the edge. Okay. And again, I just got to go back and forth a couple times. If you torch directly into the surface, you can burn through the epoxy. You won't burn the epoxy itself. You will burn through the epoxy, burn the foil, burn the paint, and remove it right from the surface. Okay, so you may not, I know you can't see this, but what happens, I've now just really liquefied this, and all the turning is making the glitter shift. So it will keep moving like this until it hardens, and eventually the glitter will have an even distribution. But look how cool that is. This is really a nice looking cup. Stick my gloves in there. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. Whoops, that didn't work. Let's see if I can do that. Everything else wants to happen except for me to zoom. All right, there you go. There's the same. Look how fun that is. Oh, I like that so much. That's really going to be fun when it finishes and cures up. What a patriotic, celebratory 4th of July Americana kind of travel cup. We are going full force Americana today. I love it. We'll put that out, then we got one more project to work on. So we're going to swing away from there because I now need to move completely away from the epoxy. Otherwise, bad things will happen. Let me close up my roll of foil, and I will zoom out so you're not just staring at my hand rolling at foil. But it would be good if I let my hand dry off a little bit from being, there we go. There you go. Deb, thank you. It is so pretty. Oh, you guys are awesome. All right, we are going to work on our last project now. That looks like a bunch of stuff I'm bringing over, doesn't it? Okay, so let's move these cups and shove some stuff out of the way, for goodness sakes. I'm making my space smaller and smaller and smaller all around me. It's like I'm afraid. Okay, so earlier today, we created our Patriotic sandcastle. What we did on here was, this was painted with Faux Effects Set Coat Metallic Navy. We released, using one of my stencils that I carry over here, I don't remember which one it was, we released the pattern in the red. Hang on a second, it won't let go. We released the pattern first in this red, silver, and blue stripe through a stencil, giving us all these little details, and then filled in the background with our holographic silver waterfall. So look at how cool that is. But it's a little flat. I can't let it be. Since when have I ever left anything alone? So we're going to take some other stencils that I have that look sort of like starbursts and have some fun with that. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix up some bead gel. Okay, here we go. This is our Artsyville bead gel, one of my favorite things. I love anything that's going to be shiny and glittery. And here it is in the container. It looks white, but it dries crystal clear. So I'm going to peel my plastic back so I can get at the fresh bead gel. You kind of need to mix a generous amount because the bead gel is thick and it has texture, and because of that you get less square footage than you would say with something like paint that's thin and spreads further. All right, so I've got my glass bead gel mixed up here. Pull my shirt back, trying not to give everybody the down shirt shots. And I'm going to mix in some, and this is just craft glitter that I picked up at the store years ago. I'm trying to go through some of my stash before I use up some of this stuff that I just hang on to forever. Don't ask me why. So I've got some red glitter that I'm mixing in with the bead gel. This will not color this. What it's going to do is add more glitter, more shine, more interest, but it will not change the color. You'll get the essence of the color because the beads will still be clear and the bead base will still be clear. I'm adding a little silver to it, so we're gonna have really glittery. I want fireworks looking kind of idea. And you can add as much or as little glitter to this as you want. So now that I'm mixing up, I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna be enough. So I'll pour a little more in. Whoops, let's not do that. That was dumb. Some days, I'm telling you. It's lucky they let me out the door. A little more of each in there. I don't want to go too crazy. I'm not trying to hide the beads, which are clear. I'm just trying to add interest to them. So here we go. I'm going to take that, slide all of that back, and we're going to start with this one. I'm not centering anything. I'm kind of just doing it so that they'll be like starburst, starburst, starburst. So this will take a couple layers. I probably won't get to more than one just doing this. I'll flip down, but let me grab my tool that I need. Okay. So this is a heavier stencil, so she'll have nice buildup with that. And all I use to do this is things like hotel room keys because they're flexible. If you try to use a regular metal trowel with glass bead gels, the beads go ping, 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 ping because of the way they react with the metal. It's not as flexible as you need it to be, but with plastic, I can just sort of butter it across the surface. And this is not going to look very impressive when I pull the stencil off because this white base that's in here hasn't dried clear yet. When it dries clear, all that glitter, all that glass bead gel, all that detail and interest will be popping up. You'll see it and it'll be gorgeous. Of course, you might have to check back because it's not going to be dry for a little while yet. And you see, I'm just spreading. See, I'm not scraping it, because if I scrape it too much, I might get beads dragging. I can lightly scrape this a little bit because the stencil is so deep that I'm not going to have a lot of skipping around. Save myself some mess here. And what I scrape off, I always put back in the bucket because I'm going to want to put through another stencil later. Okay, that came off perfectly. Set that over here, something that's preferably not sticky. Now that's going to be very hard for you all to see, but I'm going to hold it up. See there, you can see it, it's whitish right now, but when it dries, it's going to be even more brilliant. So I think what I'll do is I'll turn this one this way and I'll do one more that'll be a little more darkly colored and you'll see it a little easier. So my bead gel's here. At least I remember to bring enough sticks, stir sticks for once in my life. I'll scrape out a bunch more into this cup. All right. So there's another cup right there. And really, I'm going to take a lot of blue. I'm just going to take probably whatever blue is in here. Oh, it's quite a lot, so. Mixing it all in. There's a little pocket. It's like mixing flour into something. There's little pockets you can find the glitter in the bottom like I just did there. Make sure you mix everything. You might get a little surprise later if you don't. All right, I think I'm just gonna add a little silver to both these mixtures because it'll make it more shimmery. Something fell in there, just saw it fall in. Go. And it's out. Alrighty, so we're gonna take that now. So now I have my nice glittery blue bead mix, and we're going to take the other stencil, which looks like that, and I'll just pop it down here. I'm paying attention not to overlap it with where I have other wet gel. I will overlap them later when they're both dry, but I'm not going to do it and take the chance of smearing. And all I'm doing is just, again, with the room key, smushing it into the openings. I am buttering it, I'm not scraping. I want to make sure I fill the openings. And I don't want to scratch up stuff. Wipe this back a little bit since I can. The stencil is deep enough to handle the wipe back. Thinner stencils, if you tried to scrape it like this, it would leave drag marks through the bead gel. When it's thick like this, it's already built up a couple beads thick, and it's not going to do that so much. Oh, I have one little spot here it wants to do it in. Right there. And then we're going to lift that one off. And again, it's not visually right now looking much different than the other one because it hasn't dried. But when it dries, it's going to be super sharp. And I'll put more up here, and I'll probably scatter a couple more through here. We're just going to have layers and layers so it looks like fireworks at the beach. And if you wonder what's on the other side, just remember, we did this one a couple weeks back. This is what the bead gel looks like with other colors added to it. So we added a little bit of green and stuff here just to make it real beachy looking. This time, we're adding glitter. All right, I set that to the side to dry. We got a lot of stuff drying around here today. Okay, let me keep going up because I'm getting the top of my head. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm going to take a second, scroll back, see if anybody's got a question that I can answer. You guys are all so complimentary. Thank you so much. You guys are all awesome. Nobody's asking any questions, so I must be making some sense today. That's a good day. All right, everybody. It is Friday or Saturday evening. I'm going to clean up around here. It's almost time for me to close up, and I got big messes around here to clean up. I was going to go back on my own page and do another live, but we accomplished everything that needed to be done, and now everything just has to dry. So I can't do another step until things are cured a little bit more. All right, everybody, enjoy your weekend. Use that little arrow button and sprinkle the love a little bit around here. It helps us all out. Looking forward to answering any questions if you have them. And just enjoy your summer weekend. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.